Hey traders, this is Jake from Optimus Futures, and in this video, we'll be showing you how to place orders using the chart on TradingView. And specifically, we'll give you a comprehensive breakdown of the introduction orders, we'll explain what an order is and how it's used to buy or sell a futures contract. We'll show you the different order types available on the TradingView platform, such as market orders, limit orders, and stop orders. From there, we'll actually show you and demonstrate how to place your orders on TradingView, including how to enter your symbol, enter your quantity, change your price, and your order type. We'll show you how to manage orders, including partially filled orders, how to cancel your orders, how to move, change, and modify your orders. And then from there, we'll show you how to view your order history, including your filled, partial, and canceled orders, where to see your account balance, where to see your P&L, and basically different account statistics. All right, so to start, let's first give you an introduction to orders. Let's explain what an order is and how it can be used to buy or sell a futures contract. Now, in the futures market, an order is essentially a contract agreement to buy or sell a specific commodity at a set future date for a set price. And with these orders, they can be submitted to the exchange with different conditions specified. Now, these conditions are referred to as order types, and these order types allow traders to create orders that meet the criteria for the trade that they set and define how and at what price the orders will be filled. So now that you have a basic understanding of what an order is, we're going to get into the different types of orders, explaining them and how they can be placed on TradingView. First, we're going to give you the explanations, and then we're going to show you practically how to actually submit these orders on the platform itself. Okay, so the first order type we'll be discussing is a market order. Now, this is typically the most common order in the futures industry. And a market order is essentially an order to buy or sell a futures contract at the best available price. Now, unlike some of the different order types we'll be discussing here shortly, with a market order, the trader does not determine the price. As I mentioned, it's filled at the best available price. So traders do need to be aware of this and understand the type of market they're currently trading in. Because, for example, if you're potentially trading in a market with a wide bid and ask spread and a low volume, there is a possibility that you could find that the order gets filled for a higher price if you're buying, or a lower price if you're selling. Essentially, your order could get filled several points away from the current market price at the time of your order is placed, just due to the wide bid and ask spread and the low volume. So that is something to keep in mind when you're placing market orders. Now, next up, we have limit orders. And a limit order is an order to buy or sell a futures contract at a specific price or better. Limit orders allow the buyer to define the maximum purchase price for the buying of a future, or the seller to define the minimum price sale for the selling of a futures contract. Now, it is important to know that a limit price cannot be filled worse than the limit price, but it can be filled better. Now, because of this, it's also important to know that in a fast-moving market, the order may not be filled because the price could actually move away from the price of your order. So that is something to keep in mind with limit orders. Now, next up, we have stop orders. And a stop order is a type of order which, when accepted, it does not immediately go on the book. It must be triggered by a trade in the market at the price level submitted with the order. And there's two types of stop orders available, which you'll both see on TradingView. There's a stop limit, which when placed, it goes on the book as a limit order when activated. So it essentially converts itself to a limit order. In the other stop, with protection, which goes on the book as a market order, that's the stop market order I referred to. Now, you'll notice here on TradingView in the top right, we only have stop and stop limit. The stop is the stop market order that I just referred to, and you can see the stop limit right next to it available. And you'll notice the difference, and we'll get into this shortly. With the stop limit, you can actually adjust the limit price once your stop order is converted into that limit order. And then finally, we have trailing stops. Now, the difference between a trailing stop and a regular stop order is essentially that the trailing stop trails the current market price. So if you are in a position, let's say you have a protective stop order protecting your position and it's set as a trailing order, you define how many ticks away or points away that your trailing order is from your current position. And as the market price, let's say you've bought a position, or you place a buy order, it gets filled. Then you have the sell stop order beneath the current buy order or your buy position. The trailing stop will essentially follow the market price. So as the market price goes up, the trailing order continues to close the gap on itself, tightening the distance between your current position, your long position, and the current sell stop order. So that's how a trailing order works. You'll see that in the top right corner of the platform in your stop loss section. If you click this, you'll see the ability to place the trailing stops. And as I mentioned, you can configure it in ticks. On TradingView, we actually have it by price, by US dollars, or by percentage amount. And as mentioned, if you are long, let's say you bought and you got filled, you have a sell stop order, it's a sell trailing order. As the market price moves up, your sell stop will continue to close the gap on itself, tightening the stop loss essentially. So now that we've gone over all the different order types and I briefly showed you where you could place these orders, let's actually fully get into it, place some sample orders, and show you how to configure your trades on TradingView. Now, most of your trading will be done in the right-hand sidebar of your chart. If you do not see this panel open, with the side panel active, you should see two icons at the very bottom here. There's one if you hover over it, which is an up and down arrow. This is the order panel. This is the exact panel that I have open here. And then below, we have the dome, which stands for the depth of market. This essentially allows you to see bid and ask data or resting limit orders from other traders at each price level. So these numbers that you see here in these bid and ask columns are essentially resting limit orders from other traders, so you can potentially gauge activity at certain market price levels. Now, you also have the ability to configure your orders by right-clicking your chart, going to trade, and you have these ease of access buttons, as I like to call them here, which are buy and sell either limit or stop orders that you can quickly click on that will essentially configure the order panel on the right-hand side for you. Or if you want to configure your own order, you can go to create new order here as well. And it opens up this order panel too. So essentially all of your trading will be done on this right-hand side. Now it is also important to note that first you do want to change your symbol for your product that you'll be trading. So you can determine that in the top left-hand corner of your chart and the symbol search bar right here. You simply want to type in the futures product of your choice. As you may have saw on my chart, I have the E-mini S&P 500 contract open. Now, if you do have a live account with us or a demo, you'll want to be choosing the symbols that have a F.US in parentheses. If you see any symbols like this here with an exclamation point, or it just shows a 1, that actually stands for a continuous contract for the year 2021. You can see that here in parentheses. Please keep in mind that continuous contracts are not tradable. They're only for analysis. So please, whether you're trying a demo or if you have a live account with us, when configuring what symbol you have on your chart, make sure to choose one of these ones that say F.US in parentheses here. These are the proper symbols that you can actually trade on and that are available for trading. Now, once you have determined your product that you'll be trading, this is where you'll want to open up your order panel on the right-hand side. And we could start from the same order that we explained the order types in. Let's start with the market order. First, you want to select whether you're buying or selling. Once you have that determined, then you can click on the 4 different order types at the top here. So first up is the market order. Now, as we discussed earlier, with a market order, you are filled at the best available price. You do not determine your price. It's based on the current best available market price at that time. So really, when you're configuring this, the only options you have are the number of units, which is the quantity of your trade, and the ability to configure a take profit and a stop loss. Now, I'm going to be getting into take profit and stop losses, but first, I want to focus on just placing each order type individually, and then we can get into some of the more complex order types and different strategies involved. So for this, I'll keep it very simple. Let's just place a buy market order. And you can see here, I submitted it. We can see in the bottom left, the confirmations of my orders both being placed and my orders executed. And you can see here that I bought at the current market price, which was $41.4525. Now we will get in more depth into how to modify and manage your orders But just to show you, since we do have it on your screen, once you are in a position, you can simply close a position by hovering over it and clicking on this X button right here. You will get a confirmation window to close your position. You can see what the current price is and where you'll be closing it at. And once you close your position, again, you'll get a confirmation down in the bottom left here. So that's a market order. That was a buy market order. If you want to place a sell market, basically the same process we just went through. This time you'll be clicking on the left-hand side for sell. You'll see when you click on sell, it actually turns the buttons red. So that's a good unique identifier that you could use to quickly gauge whether you're buying or selling. If you're buying, it's blue, as shown right here. If you're selling, it is red. So here we go again. We can place a sell order, a sell market order. As you can see, I was executed at 41.44.5. And one thing that you can do as well, besides clicking on these X's, is essentially if you are short in the market, which means you've just sold and you've been filled, you could actually place an order for the opposite side of the market. What I mean by this is if you're short, if you have just sold and been filled, you could purchase place a buy order and go long, and it's essentially flatten out your position, meaning closing your position. So rather than click on the X this time to close my position, this time I'll place a buy market order, which will effectively flatten this at the market price. As you can see, when I click buy, I place my market order. I was filled at 41.45, and my short position that I just held has been flattened out. I bought my position back. I'm no longer in a trade. Now our next order type available, as we discussed, is a limit order. And as mentioned, with the limit order, you can buy or sell a futures contract at a specific price or better. And with this, you follow the same structure as before. You first want to choose buy or sell. Remember, blue is buy, red is sell. And then from there, you'll notice some differences. Now we can finally specify our price. So on TradingView, you can either type in your price. We can manually edit it right here. There's also a quick drop down that allows you to specify based on the current ticks. So for example, if I place ask +4, this essentially means it's going to be placing my limit order 1 point away from the current market price. Now I know this because on the E-mini S&P 500, there's 4 ticks in every point. So based on what I choose here, that's how many ticks away my order is from the current market price. So for example, if I choose 6 ticks, that's basically 1.5 points away. If I choose 8 ticks, which is ask +8, that is 2 points away. I could also do the other side of the market. If I do ask -4, that's essentially placing a buy limit order 1 point below the market. So let's see that. Let's say I'll put it a bit further away just so we don't get filled immediately. Let's say I want to place a buy limit order 3 points below the market. So rather than actually type in the current market price, which is 41.45.50, and having to type in 41 for example, or 41.42, I can just come down to ask -12. Again, that's placing a buy limit order, essentially 3 points away from the market. You can see once I click this little quick drop down here, it actually automatically always puts 12 ticks away from the current market price. And this is always constantly, you can watch it, is constantly fluctuating. So depending on what the current market price is doing, this will automatically adjust it for you. So if you are more the type to place, higher frequency trades, or your trading strategy does revolve getting in and out of the market quickly, you may want to just use these tick buttons. Just because, as you can see, once you have it set, it's very quick to customize this, and it will automatically always keep it that many ticks away from the market price, so you don't have to come into here and enter it manually each time. So as we can see, again, going to place a buy limit order about 3 points away from the market. Once I place it, you can see it's a little bit scrunched in here, but my buy limit now is about 3 points away from the current market price. Now, once I do have a limit order placed, what's nice, and because these aren't filled immediately, I can modify these orders at any time. So I could actually left click, hold, and drag, and modify this directly from my chart you'll see it gives you the new the new limit price once you modify it, and then I can click modify. And as you can see, I've just modified my limit order, my buy limit order. I just moved it quite a few points, almost 20 points away from my previous order entry. So again, you can quickly modify directly through your chart. Just drag up or down. Now it is important, which I didn't mention before, that buy limit orders always go below the market price. Sell limit orders always go above the market price. And this is a good segue into our next order type, which is a stop order. And the stop order is actually the opposite. So when you're placing a stop order, if you want to buy a stop as an entry, the buy stop needs to be above the market price, and a sell stop needs to be below the market price. So this is important to keep in mind. If you do place limit or stop as an entry order, it's very important to know this. If you don't follow this rule, you could see yourself essentially filled right away. The order will basically be converted into a market order, and you'll typically get filled right away at the current market price. Not always, but you'll see if you place it on the wrong side of the market, it'll typically get filled right away. And as we mentioned, the next order type up is a stop order. So let's back out of this, close this order. It never got filled. We could see that because it says it's just a buy limit. We don't have any positions, as we can see in the bottom here. So we can just cancel this, and the order has been canceled out. We're not at risk of getting filled in the market anymore. Now that we have canceled out, let's go to stop orders. And you'll see the criteria is basically the same as what we just experienced. And I'm not sure if you actually noticed that, but the trading platform actually just warned me with a red highlighted number here that I had my buy stop at the wrong side of the market. You can see here, it actually shows you when the current price is not appropriate. So as I described in my previous example, I went to just go place a buy stop below the market price. And when hovering over this quick tick column, as I called it before, you'll see that when I hover over it, it'll actually say this order price is not appropriate for this order type or direction. Now you'll see if I change this, and as I mentioned, if it's a buy stop, it needs to be above the market price. Let's put our buy stop 3 points away again, and you'll see now this is the proper price. I'm not getting any red flags. I have my price here. I see it, and when I place it, I now have a buy stop order. And remember, these buy stop orders, essentially once they are hit, automatically get converted. Now with the one I've chosen, this is a buy stop, so once it's hit, it goes on the book as a market order. Now the next up that we have available is a stop limit. And as I mentioned with this, it's very similar, but the difference is once it's hit, the order goes on the book as a limit order when it's activated. It does not go in as a market order. So because of this, you actually get to determine 2 prices for your stop limit order. First is the stop order that you'd like it placed at. So again, you want to follow the same procedure as I mentioned before. If you're placing a buy stop, it needs to be above the market price. So let's do the same. 12 ticks above the market. And you'll see it actually automatically converts it for you. When you do set your stop price, it converts the limit price for you automatically. But we can do the same as well. We can change this. And you'll see this is saying it's in stop. Rather than giving you the market price in ticks, it's giving you the stop ticks away from the market price. So again, you can customize this as needed. Now, we may not get to see this play out in real time just because we need for our order to get filled for our stop to actually be converted to a limit order. Let's just place this. You can see here, the first is my buy stop limit. Once that's hit, it'll get converted to a limit order once it's activated. We could try and wait for the market to hit this price, but rather than wait around, let's move forward and go to the next order type. So let's first cancel these orders. Now, as mentioned, we've covered the 4 major order types of this platform so far. But the things we haven't covered, which you may see down here, are take profits and stop loss. Now, a take profit is essentially a limit order designed to, as it sounds, take profit on your order. So this is an exit order. You specify it at a specific price or how many ticks away. So once that market reaches that price, you're basically just getting out with a potential profit. Now, a stop loss is on the other side of things, where if you set this, you do not want the market to go below this price. So you could use this as essentially a worst case scenario. If the market reaches that price, you will not incur a loss greater than your stop loss. Now, please keep in mind, due to market conditions, stop losses are not guaranteed to get filled. It's possible that in a scenario that I described before with a wide bid and ask and low volume, that your stop order could potentially get passed. But in a hypothetical scenario or a perfect situation, your order will typically get filled at the stop price and you'll get out with your specified loss. So when you're configuring these, you first want to configure your main order types just as normal. We can do this with the market order. Choose your quantity. This is under units. And then from here, we set a limit order on the... And by the way, these are opposite of what you're going in with. So we're entering with a buy order. So my take profit will be a sell limit. My stop loss will be a sell stop. So continuing on, I want to configure my sell limit order for how many ticks away. Remember on the ES, for this example, it's 4 ticks to every point. So let's say I do 16 here. That's 4 points away from the market. And I could do the same with my stop loss as well. Now you'll see once I place these, this is linked as an OCO, which stands for one cancels the other. These are linked on the server. All 3 orders go in attached. Once I am filled on my position, my stop loss and my take profit order are essentially dependent on one another. And what I mean by that is if your stop loss is hit, the take profit will automatically cancel itself. So that way you don't have a leftover order just waiting to get filled and you're essentially in a position without either your knowledge or being exposed to the market. This will automatically cancel out for you. Same thing on the other side. If your take profit, your sell limit order gets hit, your stop loss will automatically get canceled out as well. So that way you're completely flat in the market. So if we place these here, we have both enabled. You can see that it's represented with check marks. If I place my order, and let's zoom in here, you'll see that TradingView conveniently tells you your take profit. If you hover over it, it'll show you how many ticks away it is from the current from your current entry order. In this case, I did get filled with the market order at 41.46. And TradingView actually even tells you how much profit or loss it is. So like I mentioned, my stop loss is my worst case scenario. If the market reaches this price, I lose $200 on this trade. If the market reaches 41.50, which is my take profit, I sell at this price for a profit of $200. Now, one thing that we briefly touched on before is trailing stops. Let's just go ahead and cancel my group here. So when I do that, as I mentioned, they're OCOs. So when I cancel one, the others will get canceled out as well. So you saw I closed my position, my stop loss, and my take profit automatically got closed together. With the trailing stop, you configure it in ticks. And as I mentioned, when the market price moves in a favorable direction, the stop loss automatically tightens itself and gets closer. So that way, as I just showed with the stop loss, essentially your worst case scenario has tightened on itself. So that way it follows the market price. If the market price does move up, your stop loss gets tighter to your position, leaving you with a less of a potential loss if the market does fall back down to that price. Let's go ahead and just place a trailing stop with this order here. I place a market order, and we'll need to watch this behave in real time, but as you can see, if the market starts to move up, my trailing stop will automatically go with it based on the tick offset. So hopefully we get to see that here in real time as the market moves up. If not, our trailing stop will basically stay stagnant at 41.42. Unfortunately, we're not seeing too much market movement right now, but hopefully we'll get to see that in a second. I'll leave this for another second or two, so hopefully we can see this happen in real time and you can see how a trailing order moves. If not, again, if it does not move in a favorable direction, the trailing stop will essentially remain in its current price. It'll stay where it is. This will only follow your actual order if the market moves in a favorable direction. Unfortunately, at the time of recording this video, the market has not moved too much here, so we're not able to see the trailing stop move in real time. I don't want to leave the video running for too long, so for time's sakes, we're going to cut that one out. But as I mentioned, the trailing stop will follow your entry order as the market moves in a favorable direction. Your order will automatically adjust based on the price of the futures contract. Now, a few other things that I would like to show on TradingView that are unique to this platform and are very helpful are the ability to configure take profits and stop loss orders on the fly. So let's place a market order here. We're not going to configure take profit or trailing stops or stop loss. We're going to go in with the quantity of 1. And once we're filled at the market price, one thing that you could do is hover over your price, and you'll see new buttons become available. 3 buttons are available. There's reverse position, which if I click this, will essentially place a buy market order and then place another buy market order to get filled on the other side of the market. Now I say this in this example because we're currently short. We have a sell. We're short in the market 1. So when I click reverse, you'll see it. It buys 2 at the current market price. So one of those buys is to flatten your current position, and the other buy is to reestablish a new, this time long position at the current market price. From there to the right, we have a TP. This is a take profit order. So if you have placed an order after the fact and you think to yourself, oh, I forgot to place a take profit order in my order entry panel. Well, that's okay. You could do so after the fact here too. And it actually is very intuitive. You simply left click, TP, hold. And what's very nice about this is as you drag up, it'll tell you what the potential profit or loss is on this trade. So as you can see, I drag it to my specific price level. It tells me in this case, I will, make a profit of $375 if the market reaches my take profit here. I can click modify, and as you can see, I now have a pending limit order in the market. I could do the same thing with SL, which again stands for stop loss. Simply click, hold, drag to my specified price. You can see my either profit or loss right here. As you can see, if I do place my order at this price, it'll be a loss of $350. And there we go. So that is one very cool thing that you could do on TradingView that's unique to this platform. From there, and as I mentioned, these are OCO server-side orders. So if I want to cancel any of these orders or get out of my position, all I have to do is click on the X right here to close position. And it'll close all 3 orders, or close my 2 orders and my position at that time. So that's very nice as well. One thing we could also do is, let's say, for example, I place a limit order. As I mentioned before, sell limit orders need to go above the market price. So let's do one 5 points away. Place my sell limit order. Now from here, I can actually modify orders too. So I can either cancel my order if I'd like, or by the way, I access this menu by right clicking. So if I right click my order and click modify, you can convert this order if you need to. You can change the price, you can change a tick offset, or you could also modify it to a take profit or stop loss, or add those order types on top of this as well. So rather than my example, click the TP and click SL and modify those up and down, I could just right click, modify, and then modify as I need to here. From there, again, you can also cancel your orders just by clicking on the X on that position. Now, some of the other things we haven't got into yet is where to manage your orders, where to see your account balance, things of that nature. So you could do this all in the bottom section here. This is your trading panel. And you'll see when you're either logged into a live account or a demo account, this section here expands, and there's a tab for each particular section. So let's say, for example, I placed a market order, and in this example, I want to place a stop loss and a take profit with it. Once I place my order, you'll see these tabs automatically populate. The number next to the name of the tab is what you're currently trading. And what I mean by that is, for example, you saw I have a quantity of 1. I placed a market order. I have a sell. I'm on the short side at 41.45 and a quarter. This is showing 1 because my current quantity is 1 and my current net positions are 1. Now you can swap between individual net positions if you'd like. So feel free to do that. You'll notice my orders tab has 2. That's because I have a stop loss and a take profit. So you saw I could have multiple stop loss, take profit levels. If I do add additional orders, this will increase to beyond 2. Now what's also nice about this section is you can see all orders, just working. You can see inactive, filled, canceled, and rejected orders. So if you need to look back on the orders that you had throughout the day and you only want to look at your canceled orders, you could specifically click on canceled orders. If you have a rejection, whether it was due to not having the correct margin requirement or some sort of issue or the market was closed at that time, you can see any rejection orders and the reason why here. You can see all filled orders, which are essentially orders that have turned into positions. Inactive orders, that may be something along the lines of like an order duration expired. The order expired, let's say the contract expired and you had an order, it may show inactive here. Or if you have any time-specific orders that you're waiting for a specific time or scheduled order to place, it may show in here until it's technically working. Working orders that are orders that are actively working in the market, meaning they could be potentially filled if the market reaches that price. Now with any of the orders in this section or in your position sections here, on the right hand side you can click this pencil icon. They consider it a protect position. This is essentially just adding a take profit or stop loss after the fact. You can also click this X to cancel any positions. Same thing with the orders. There's a pencil icon. This will just allow you to modify the orders. So for whatever reason you didn't want to click on your chart and drag it up or down like I'm doing here, you can click on the pencil icon with your corresponding order and just modify that price here. Let's say, for example, you want to configure it by percentage and you don't know what the percentage equivalent of the tick value is. You can simply type in here, you don't want to lose more than 0.10%, modify it, and it will automatically modify it for you based on a percentage. So that's very unique as well. As I mentioned, all of these order types that we've placed here so far can also be accessed with a right click. Just by right clicking on your chart, you can click buy or sell at the specific price level, and it'll automatically place that order at the specific price level you clicked at. There are some settings here in trading settings which are unique and nice to have. There's buy or sell buttons. One place to place order through the platform are these buttons in the top left. You can see blue is buy, sell is red. I can place orders directly by clicking on these buttons, and when I do, it automatically fills out this section for me and I can click right there. Instant order placement. This is a form of one-click trading. As you saw when I right-clicked my chart and placed my order, it had my order panel here on the right side configured, and then I had to place my order through that section. Well, once instant order placement is on, this turns your platform into one-click trading. So you'll see if I click this, rather than having to configure this screen here and set these parameters up, it will automatically place my orders. Now, in my opinion, at least, there is some risk to this, because if you do have this setting enabled and you accidentally click one button and you didn't mean to, as you can see, I just filled myself on a short market order and now have a position in the market. If I wasn't paying attention and had this setting enabled, I may have accidentally just filled myself without realizing it. So this setting here, the instant order placement, is a very good setting for those high frequency traders who are rapidly placing orders and are confident with their clicks, the precision of their clicks, and know they may not accidentally make a mistake, or they're familiar enough with the platform to not accidentally click the wrong button or make a misclick. So keep that in mind if you're still learning the platform, or you just want that extra ease of safety, if you will, a little safety net that you have to actually click an order confirmation window to place your orders. You may want to keep this disabled. So feel free to enable that or disable that at your judgment. Some other general settings here are execution sounds. So if you need to play a sound when your order is actually executed, you can enable this, configure what sound you want, and whenever your order is filled at the current market price, a sound will play. You can also get notifications for rejections only. So as you've seen here, every time I place an order, my notifications pop up in the left-hand corner of my chart. Well, if for whatever reason you don't want that, you can enable this, and those notifications will only populate when an order is rejected. Again, there could be various reasons for rejection. It doesn't happen too often, but it does. It's typically something you want to speak to your broker about on why they may have occurred or what happened at that price or that time. It's very hard for me to give a reason for rejection and why that may happen. It does happen periodically, so feel free to turn that on if you need to. In my opinion, it's probably best to keep this setting off just so you can see all the notifications for your orders, just to get an extra additional confirmation. But again, this is up to every individual. Some other things you can configure are appearance. You can enable or disable these buttons here on your chart. So if for whatever reason you want a clean chart and you don't want to see your positions on the chart, you can start to enable or disable these settings here. As you can see, when I turn off positions, my position completely disappears from my chart. Please keep in mind that I still do have a position. You could see it in the trading tab at the bottom here. But if I turn the setting off, it graphically does not display in my chart anymore. Same thing with orders. I can turn them on or off. Just because I turn this on or off doesn't mean I have an order. I still need to look at my trading panel for that. But if you're the type of individual that doesn't want their chart cluttered with different positions or orders that you have going on, you can enable this setting to clean things up a bit. Same thing with brackets and P&L. Same thing with execution labels. As you can see right now on my executions, I do have arrows, either red or blue, indicating where I bought or sold. You can turn these off and they'll no longer show. Or you can turn execution labels on, which also show what order type it was and what price it was filled at. Same thing with this. You can modify how you want your positions aligned. So by default, they're set on the right, so they show on the right-hand side of your chart. If for whatever reason you want this in the center or the left, you can customize these settings as well. Now, one other thing that we didn't mention too much here is the DOM. Again, this shows you the resting order, limit orders from other traders at different bid and ask prices. This section here is essentially not too much different than we've seen so far. Down at the bottom, we do have a couple buttons for convenience. So flatten. Flatten is essentially placing a market order to exit your current position and canceling your existing working orders. Cancel all only cancels orders. It keeps positions. In reverse, we've already seen that on a chart. It basically places a market order and then an additional market order for the same quantity to fill you on the other side of the market. Over here as well, one of the major differences of the DOM is you can actually click at your specific price level to place your orders. So for example, if I wanted to place a buy limit order below the market price, I can just simply click at my price level, which in this case is 41.41, place it, and because I have instant order placement on, as you can see, it immediately places a buy limit order for me just by clicking on the DOM price level. Same thing on the sell side, I can click, and there I go, I have a sell limit order. You can also use these configuration buttons at the bottom. You can cancel just sell orders or cancel just buy orders, as you can see here with these X's. You can also place buy or sell market orders down at the bottom. Here's the quantity of our orders. And then here's time and force settings. So these are things like day orders, good till cancel, good till day, good till time, fill and kill, fill or kill. And there's several other options as well that you can choose from. These time and force settings essentially allow you to customize the duration of your orders. For example, if you have day set in time and force, your orders will automatically cancel at the end of each day. If you have good till cancel, they will cancel until you cancel them. Or they will stay active, until you cancel them. So if you do not want your orders automatically canceling at the end of the day, if you have yours set to GTC, which again is good till cancel, these orders will stay active until you specifically cancel them as the trader. Just a couple other things that we'd like to wrap up the video with. One is your history. This is very, we have already briefly shown the order side of this. This is very similar to the orders tab. This also just shows everything that you've done. So this includes filled positions. This includes canceled orders, rejection orders. You can filter this as well here based on filled, cancel, or rejected. But these are actually orders that were typically filled if you have this setting enabled. You can also filter by cancel or rejected if you'd like. Very similar to the orders history window. You could use these essentially interchangeably. This more so, though, will show you the different prices that you're filled at, the average fill price, the different status of the orders and timing. So they could be used interchangeably. Another tab here that's very important as well is the account summary tab. This will show you your balance, your P&L on the day. You can see your previous day balance, your net liquidating value. You can see your current purchasing power. If you are trading actively, this will show you the total margin requirement that you have required. It'll show you open trade equity. And then finally, you have your notifications log. This is similar to your history and your orders as well. This will essentially just give you an entire log of everything you've done on the platform. So you can feel free to go through this. If you need to see what time and day a specific order was placed at what time, you can go through this notification log. Any notifications that were populated will show here. And that just about wraps it up for this video. Again, most of your trading and focus for actually placing these order types is going to be on the right hand side of your screen in the orders panel. You can adjust your orders by clicking on the 4 tabs here: market, limit, stop, and stop limit. You can adjust your buy and sell side. You can adjust the quantity of your order, otherwise known as your units. And here, your protective stop loss and take profit orders. Again, trailing stop is also available. And then finally, your time and force settings. We hope this video helped. We wanted to start with the basics and show the overall breakdown of how to place orders on TradingView, give an explanation to those who may be newer with the platform or newer to the futures industry, explain the different order types and what they mean and how exactly they can be used on the risk management side of things. So we hope you found this video helpful. If you do have any questions, comments, concerns, please let us know in the comment section down below. You can also sign up for a demo of TradingView if you'd like. Down in the description, we'll have a link for you to fill out. We'll send you over credentials to log into our demo section of TradingView. You can find that in the bottom of your charts on TradingView in the trading panel. If you go and see the brokers list, you'll see us right here under Optimus Futures. And if you click connect, you can go ahead and fill out your username and password right here that you obtained through our website. So feel free to try that out. Feel free to also visit our community forum. That's community.optimusfutures.com. If you have any technical questions about the platform or needed any specific help with things we discussed in this video, feel free to reach out there. We can provide you with demonstrations, screenshots, images, things of that nature if you need some additional help. Once again, we hope you found this video helpful. Thanks for watching and enjoy.